You need that
And
update?
now the moment of truth.
Nope.
I mean, it's
Oh,
it's
Christ.
bad, but I mean, I think that you can enjoy it.
I'm
Uh.
phasing.
I have no idea what that. I'm gonna try disabling the hardware acceleration.
What could possibly be doing that, though?
Use our latest technology to capture your screen. Let's turn that off. And also, let's turn off the video codec by Cisco.
And also disable Discord, and there you go.
Now, let's see. I'm gonna.
I think you need to restart
again.
the Discord in order for it to be actually
yeah.
applied.
There he goes.
Let's try this. Wait, actually, cameras
like
look
it's-
smoother now for some reason.
I mean, it's the latest technology that you disable.
nice.
Oh, I love Lovely. Look at me. Look at me. Woo!
The
That's
irony
great.
is, if I do this style of maximize window, see, no problem. It's as it should
Someone
be.
disconnected
It's only
YouTube.
if I use.
Opposite left.
Wow.
He couldn't stomach.
Yeah, it's only if I actually use this full screen option.
Hmm.
If I have full screen like this, it's no problem.
Maybe it has to do with Discord not knowing how
Being
to
shit.
do not knowing how to do full screen. So you click the button full screen, and what we shall do a code that reverses every now and then the frame, so it will be special kind of thing.
We can't handle the
Also-
resolution.
Here's the joy of having eczema. Like, fingers look somewhat normal, right? Doesn't look dry or anything. Oh, wait, never mind. Just fucking cracked open in the knuckle.
Are you putting
Ooh.
lotion?
I got lotion handy, trust me.
Is it
Put the lotion
Is
in the
strong?
basket.
is it one of those strong ones? Because there are like I have an issue with my here. I mean, at my elbow.
Okay, my
No, this is a
screen
mild
like
one.
the sun.
Well, there is a medical
Fucking-
one that actually helps me a lot.
Fucking roll 20.
No, the
Right,
reason I
use the
cracked
sun.
is the reason I cracked is very simple. I was out yesterday painting at my brother's new apartment house thing.
Were you painting your own hands?
Yes, he was.
No, but the mere fact that my hands were in cold weather is enough to crack.
Put the lotion in the
Hand.
basket. It puts the lotion in the basket, or else it gets the hose again.
Okay, Google. Sing a song.
Goodbye, horse.
This is my song. It's not very long.
What have we become?
Let's discuss the fact that someone had to write that.
Let's discuss the fact that 20 years ago it was, I don't want a surveillance device in my living room. Hey, surveillance device, you got a good recipe for pancake?
It has. Oh, actually, there's a funny one. Okay, Google. Are you recording me?
The information you share with me is in your control. Sharing your info with me helps me be a better assistant and provide smarter responses. However, you can change what is shared using your Google account settings and
Okay,
adjust
Google.
what data is stored.
Shut up.
Nope.
So the
Ask
answer
it.
is
Turn
Ask
them
it if it's spying on you.
okay. Okay, Google. Are you spying on me?
The information you share with me is in your control.
Same answer. Okay, Google.
This is
Shut
a
up.
legally mandated answer. We are.
So yeah, that's There's also okay, Google. Tell me a joke.
Why did the Scarecrow keep getting promoted? Because he was outstanding in his field.
I love that joke.
That is a solid joke.
Ask it, is there anything you're not telling me?
Okay, Google. Is there anything you're not telling me?
Well, I know for sure that I'm trying to be helpful.
That's not really an answer.
Wow, evading,
That's
huh?
that's evasive as fuck.
Should be a
Okay,
politician.
Google. Lie to me.
Here's one. 33% of toucans can't smell bacon.
What?
What?
So, what can smell bacon?
Toucans.
Toucans.
I think it's a
birds.
a parrot. Yeah, a parrot. That's a weird. Why is it actually programmed to answer that? That's the weird thing. Was it like a common thing that they said in the drawing room? Like people will probably ask it to lie to it.
See,
Okay, Google.
this is what
Ask it
happens
to
when.
make a Einstein-Rosen bridge for you.
Okay, Google. Make an Einstein-Rosen bridge.
According to Space.com, in 1935, Einstein and physicist Nathan Rosen used the theory of general relativity to elaborate on the idea, proposing the existence of bridges through space-time. These bridges connect two different points in space-time, theoretically creating a shortcut that could reduce travel time and distance.
I need micro here.
This is what happens when we lose Seb and Liam.
Wait, Liam is not coming?
No. He was at
Oh, damn.
Gatwick. Like
What the hell is
5.
An airport
No, like
Okay.
in
4 hours ago.
London. We're not live. Oh, we're live. I
We are.
can't cuss out the
I
place
hear-
I was.
Too bad. But I do hear that Gatwick Airport is probably the slummiest one among them.
The entire city is slummy. I'm just saying.
Oh, by the way, did you know that you can actually ask it to read you a book?
Especially a certain building, like just down from Battersea Cat and Dog Home.
Where did Kesh go?
This wouldn't be some sort of an embassy building, would it?
No, it wouldn't be some sort of embassy building that,
No.
takes your money and
And eats your cash.
I mean, that's just an American pastime. Take your money and eat your cash.
Things you shouldn't do. Put money in your mouth.
Especially Canadian money. That shit is durable.
So is Scottish money. Well, British money. I could not use any fucking notes down there because every store I went into refused to take the notes. I was like, okay, you refuse to take my Scottish notes,
Yeah.
but you'll take the Scottish bank card.
Yeah, because they can immediately transfer the currency over from pound to pound.
If life was a unicorn.
Goes to London. You know what I bought in London? The entire day I was there?
Alcohol.
Waffles.
That's
How come you
that's
didn't buy
definitely
alcohol?
not the that's definitely not the answer I expected.
I decided
Something
I
is
was going
wrong
to
with
get the
you.
train back rather than waiting around till fucking 10:30 at night because I was like, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm done with today.
Mm.
And then I went to book the train and was like, oh, the cheapest train is in like an hour. Let's see how far from the station I am. Oh, I'm 45 minutes from the station. If I walk.
Well, they have the restaurant wagon, right?
Yeah, I slept on the train.
I mean, sure.
If you.
But that's the sensible thing to do.
Oh, I say slept. I napped between stations, so I didn't get off at the wrong station.
I mean, that's fairly long way still, right?
Yeah. It's like, I think it's like an average of about 45 minutes
27
between stations,
Mm.
and it's like a 4.5 hour ride.
Yeah, you can easily like sleep just straight through that and set an annoying alarm or, you know, ask
Put
the
headphones on full volume and try to
ask
sleep.
ask the conductor to come wake you.
Of
On the
train.
bus down on Tuesday,
I
there was a
actually
fucking
asked once.
diversion literally as we were leaving Edinburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I need to mute Twitch because I'm
I
confusing
once
myself.
asked I once asked a conductor to actually wake me up, and he forgot.
Lovely.
Right? It was nice though. I visited the Golan Heights on that day.
That's that
My
that
commander
doesn't
wasn't
seem.
very happy with me traveling during the time that I should be at the base, but no.
Yeah, and especially the Golden Heights. I'm pretty sure you know.
Oh, it's actually very pretty. I mean, you should see it. Very
I
green.
mean, I can believe that, but as far as I recall, if you're in uniform, you probably shouldn't be wandering out there.
I mean, why? It's part of Israel. The only problem there is mostly that you have big landmines. I mean, big fields of landmines. That can be a problem.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a problem.
As long as you place your feet between them, it's fine.
Sure.
My friend actually was guarding one day, and he told me that he actually saw a cow blow up from a landmine. That is cool. That is cool.
Who needs a mincer when you have landmines?
Did he go and
Actually,
get fresh steaks?
no, because it was in the middle of the landmine field. you don't want to go in there to retrieve it. Not even the the peasants wants to go in there to retrieve his cow. Once the cow goes in there, it's basically all right. That's
Well,
dead cow.
write that off to insurance.
Yep.
Basically, yes. But it's a good way to get rid of some old mines.
Livestock.
Did you know, by the way, that every year countries that have landmines fields actually expand the field zone because they aren't sure how much it slid during the year?
Mhm.
So they approximate how much they need to expand it in order for people not to actually explode.
We had an interesting event with the landmine left over from the Second World War this like a month ago.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning actually struck the landmine directly and detonated it. It was at an
That's
air
cool.
base that was supposed to be like they if they were going to give it up, they were supposed to mine it and then leave, but they fucked up.
Oh, good.
Only a few soldiers were injured,
Hmm.
but hey, it was a buried landmine that got struck by lightning. What are the odds?
Yeah. I mean, that's a very remote chance.
And yeah, final egg.
Yum.
This is how eggs should be cooked. Slightly creamy, but also slightly firm center.
Oh, I fucking love Twitch.
I mean, as long as you love it.
This is so dumb. I'm gonna post this in Discord. So it's currently September on Twitch.
Mhm.
Can you guess which company is bringing it to you? Which
Oh,
company is
it's
sponsoring
Subway. I know this.
it? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's in the name. I was
Every
amazed.
year.
Yeah, I was amazed by how many people were subscribing to the UK Parliament, considering that they're being prorogued.
What the hell is this, Cash? Let's see.
I was actually watching the stream like when shit went down, like the final hours of the chaos ensuing in the House of Commons,
Aw,
and holy shit,
fella.
people like to subscribe to
That
things that are
cat,
going offline.
that cat torm I
Mm-hmm.
caught this morning, that's broken tooth.
That's beautiful.
That's
I love it.
incredibly rare, and I was fighting with 3 Russian hunters, a Spanish guy, several horde that I couldn't identify, and I managed to get it. 14 days until next.
Nice.
Welcome
Wow.
to Warcraft Roll.
Yep. I was I was hoping we would go one session without it, but
No.
I mean, we can do a
Speaking of
session
things
about
we
it.
Theo
were
hates,
close.
D&D.
I don't think he ate it. That's kind of overdoing it, but
Yeah, you never know.
it's a weird thing to DM a D&D campaign if you hate D&D.
I don't think
Yeah.
he hates D&D. I think he just hates this group.
I'm not sure if he hates this group more than he hates the Thursday group. I'm kind of divided by that.
It's a love-hate relationship
What
in
did you
both
say?
cases.
Divided or divined?
Divided.
Divined.
But oh, Theo loves the idea that you release the angels. He loves
God damn it.
it.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. I loved
Upset, it
Steven's
went very well
message.
Thursday.
Steven sent me a message like on Monday, I think, asking me if Citrava would help Dagran out with something regarding the forge and everything. since he's still in a slight pickle regarding that. And I
I mean,
had to mention like 3 times again that Citrava isn't that kind of wizard.
you do know that if you want people to understand, you need to explain what you mean by that.
It's too
It's
long of a
Steven.
story.
It's Steven.
Yeah,
It's too long of a story, and by the
I
time
mean,
he's told it, he has forgotten it.
yeah.
Unless you get him drunk first, then he'll remember.
Yeah, that's
So you
true.
two just need to have like a one-on-one drink off. I can't wait to find out what's in your bank safe, though.
Yeah, I didn't
I
even
know
put
what's in
that.
there.
I didn't even put that into my downtime things to do because it's
Did Griff actually update you guys?
On
about Skylar. Yeah,
Okay.
hmm,
at least me.
vaguely mentioning that there will be a pause of Skylar.
Mm, well, it's interesting that he said pause, but okay.
Well, not pause, but retiring.
Yeah, he definitely said retiring.
I look forward to finding out what the replacement is.
I'll not ruin the surprise.
Please don't. Rue has assured me that I'm going to love it.
Oh dear God,
Yes, yes, yes. I think that also Theo will love it.
I'm sure.
I mean, he has loved them up until now every character change that has happened here.
Hey, are we going to get Twyla back now because of the thingy that happened at the temple of the uh, what's the goddess death? I've forgotten her name. The Raven Queen. Last time we saw Twyla, she was a chosen. Would be very
Twyla?
interesting. Yeah, didn't she? If she died again, she had to become a
Oh,
handmaiden or
that one.
something working for these. Yeah. So, Theo, what do you think about the convenient chosen one that I had apparently discovered? Isn't it a bit strange how they decided to show up as I took her out of the Raven Queen's temple?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm sure everything's gonna be just fine.
Peachy.
Yeah. And she's got a bunch of XP to use to level up. So, I mean, she's got the best downtime of all of us. At least 2 levels.
Yeah.
So, about those orphans. You wanna play Orphan Daddy for a while? You could teach them a thing or two about not being a wizard. That or not being that kind of
I'm not that kind of wizard.
wizard.
I mean, are you sure?
Yes, very sure. I mean, I have a whole garden to plant, so
Yeah,
Forest, you
that will
mean?
happen.
well, it's getting there. I kind of eyeballed the number regarding everyone who died in the tower when it collapsed and
Mhm.
with the wild magic and everything. So I probably lowballed it to what was it, 128?
I was
But
assuming they died though.
yeah,
I
uh,
think out of all of the creatures in there, I think the kobolds were or was it kobolds or goblins? Goblins. I think those are the ones that at least survived. The ones who very conveniently had a pass key.
There are some. Let's just say there are some side effects.
Oh, I can't wait to see the side effects for Steven's new hands. That's going to be amazing.
I mean, it was very funny for me that he agreed without actually.
This is the
That
kind of guy who agreed to sit down in the chair of a mind flayer to get his memory fixed a bit.
yeah,
I mean, it would have fixed his memory.
Just not by his standards.
I mean, it's not true. After he goes through the process, he will not remember that he has any issues.
Will he remember anything? Or will he be able to think at all?
No, he would be dead.
Don't
So
have any issues if
speaking
you
of
report us.
speaking of people who are excited, how
Me.
excited is Holm to find out what he got?
It's like a scratch card. You never know if you've won or not.
I can pretty sure tell you that you've won, just not the things you do think you won.
win stupid prizes.
I mean, you won the possibility to go to the moon.
A Wando fireball that only drops fireballs at your feet.
There was no
Oh, that's
one
nice.
there.
No, but I like that
Unfortunately.
one. Can he get that?
I mean, sure.
It's
Why the hell
beautiful.
not?
I can't
mean,
remember what the items
I
were
can
that I
find
got.
I can find a good thing for you like that. You use the fly spell, and then you turn yourself so your feet are towards the enemy, and then you use it. There you go. Found a solution to that.
I know I bought 4 items. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about.
No, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know what they physically are.
Ring, spectacles,
you.
cloak, and dagger.
Yep.
He did tell you that.
Mhm.
That part he did.
Yeah,
tell
I didn't write them down.
I don't get you guys sometimes. I mean, the Kesh is the only one I think that always writes stuff.
Not always.
Or I did
I-
wait them, I just didn't
No,
write
I
them
mean
where you think
writes
I've
what you get. The Rue kind of, yeah, he wrote it, but I didn't write it what it is. What did you write exactly? That I got an item. Gee, that helps. Try to recall what you gave out like 5 sessions ago.
I guess Midrash Midrash would have been identifying this, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
at
don't
least
he wants to.
detecting
I guess.
magic to see if it's worth.
I guess I might as well reveal these to everyone in that case.
No.
for shenanigans.
I mean, that is up to Holm. If he tells Midrash he'll keep it between the two.
These
then
are very, very powerful magical items.
It's at least an artifact level item.
Ring of Seor.
Look. I'll just stitch them all to the cloak.
Yeah, what if you take like 5+1 daggers and then just tie them together? Does that make it a +5?
No, that makes it a improvised weapon.
Improvised weapon +5?
It's still not. I'm not sure it's actually worth it, even if it's a +5 at improvised. What does an improvised weapon do? Weapon damage wise?
D4?
1d4.
And a dagger is D6 or D4.
D4.
So it's better to just use an improvised thing instead of a dagger. That's sad.
I mean, unless your plan is to stab someone through the neck.
Well, at the same time,
I don't want to stab anyone.
a dagger you can use dex on. Improvised weapons are not finesse weapon.
Aw. Can't you make a finesse improviser?
I suppose one of those choking wires would count as a finesse weapon.
Could be, yes. I think that actually that would count.
If you just improvise one out of some wire.
As long as you use it for that specific reason. For that specific thing. What are we I don't see it revealed.
Not yet, you don't.
They're still in creation.
No, I just need to type them out since I have them on like a physical note.
Physical notes, the worst kind of notes.
Yep.
It cannot be copy pasted into things.
I mean, you could take a picture of it and just upload that.
But it's not a copy paste.
Just scan it in with a scanner.
A scanner that turns
That's-
paper into virtual paper.
Can't
but
fit that into my budget.
But you've got to
It eats
put
the
some.
wood.
Just what you do is you get some tea bags or some tea and a damp cloth, and you just make it look all rustic and shit, and then you scan them in at school. I'm sure they've got scanners.
They do. They have like one very old, shitty scanner.
You have to pedal to get it to run.
Pretty much. It's like at least from,
The Middle Ages. When people
well,
didn't have
almost like
computers, but they had a
2008
scanner.
maybe.
That's not Middle Ages. I'm sorry to tell you.
I mean, at this point, it basically is.
Yeah.
It's the Dark Ages.
Let's see what else.
Opposite, did you hear about people dying from that stuff?
Yep. The biggest cause is a chemical called diacetyl, which is used
Yeah, I know.
for vanilla flavorings.
So no vanilla?
That chemical is illegal to put in any vape liquid or vape product in the UK.
Well, I mean, lucky you.
Lucky me!
Well, I mean, wait until Brexit happens and then it will.
Which I'm saying because I literally have vanilla custard cream flavored liquid.
I can see how that is completely illegal.
It's a
How-
different thing they use for the vanilla in this one, thankfully.
I mean, death is not an experience we have experienced yet, so it might be interesting. That's the approach of gnomes. An experience.
This is a very weird flavor.
What, vanilla?
It's vanilla. We've got like biscuits over here called custard creams.
Ugh. I tried those when I was in the UK. That's not tasty.
They're nice
I don't know
with like
why
a cup
people.
of tea. Like if you dip them in the tea and get like
Which
the tea
kind
flavor.
of tea? Are you talking about English tea or are you talking about normal tea?
Tea.
Yeah, English tea is not tea. I'm sorry. That's just
the black tea,
okay.
like PG type stuff.
Yeah, because English tea, did you see that stuff? That's just heresy. Oh, you got a wondrous item. All of them are wondrous items. How nice.
How wondrous.
Not all of them.
Yes. Yes, that is the best one so far.
Which one? The Cloak of Billowing?
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. Though one non-lethal bludgeoning damage. I like it.
Definitely worth the price.
Hey, that Ring of Constellations is amazing.
Those glasses of blindsight are actually good. I mean, you can actually give it to a blind person. It can actually be useful.
See those glasses of blindsight? Would those technically impose dark vision?
No, 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 no. It doesn't actually. It actually makes you not be able to see and then just describe things.
Yeah.
But if you wear them in the dark,
You won't see anything. You will just be described things.
Yeah.
but you can't see anything anyway.
Yeah, but it doesn't help you see. You still will bump into things in the night. But instead of just bumping into it without knowing what it is, you will actually know what you bumped into.
There's a door frame in front of you. There's a door frame in
Ouch!
front of you. Watch out for the door. Oh. Well, shit.
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
Yeah.
That should be how it describes things. Oh, by the way, you just hit a rock. Oh, by the way, you just fell down the ledge.
Oh yeah, just
1 second too late describing everything.
Best item in the world for home, especially when I'm using ranged attacks.
put them on in just a field of nothing but gravel, and it's gonna be like one of those automated frigging messages you get on Twitch occasionally, where it's just rock, 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 and it goes on for like 3 hours.
Ooh,
You know-
piece of gravel. Ooh, piece of gravel.
Yeah.
But it goes into meticulous detail, so I'm guessing it also describes the color.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
and the shape.
so
You
that
just stepped over 900 pebbles. The
No,
first
no, it
pebble
will
is
go
a
into
meticulously diagonal pebble, strangely shaped
tray.
for its.
Tray with small cubicles in it.
You have 600,000 items waiting to be described.
Would
item
you
one.
would
Say
you like to
next
clear
continue.
all?
No, there's no clear all. Just next. Need to next it all.
It's
next,
like a
next, next.
yeah, it's like one of those horrible websites from the 90s where it's just all pop-ups.
And then you need to click X on every one of
Yep.
them.
And they just keep spawning more and more as you try and
Well,
get
I mean,
the X's.
at the time you couldn't actually open that many windows, so
Yeah,
because memory.
true.
I mean, even today I can reach actually my maximum of windows. There is a point in which it kind of starts trying to. I tried it, so I discovered how much it is. It's 320. Of that website.
Why would you even try?
I want to see what it does when it reaches the full.
I hope you did it
And
manually.
no, it was automatic.
God damn it. That's no fun.
It's using an automation, and once it reaches the maximum, it just starts closing everything. So it checks memory every finished cycle.
It's no fun.
It's
Speaking
better
of
than
no
trying to
fun,
do it manually. That's a horrible segue.
let's get into this, this session. I believe last time we left off with you guys having had a debate about where you wish to go, considering that the cart
Yatar!
is the cart is ready in the morning, and you will be ready to head out.
I'm still not sure why we repaired the cart, but okay. Was it broken?
No,
I don't remember
just,
it
Not
being
broken.
described as
maintenance.
broken.
Damaged.
I mean, we could have done mending a lot.
It doesn't work that way.
I
Sure
mean,
it does.
It might on some parts of it.
Actually, there's a question about mending. If you,
There are many questions
could-
about mending, always.
well, I'll find you some questions
None of
that
which
you
can be accurately answered.
Well, the correct answer is maybe. Try it.
Yeah.
So where are we going? I think Yartar.
I believe we were waiting for Holmes'
Decision.
response, as he
Yes.
is the
Driver.
driver, but also the deciding factor, I believe.
Yes,
Mhm.
because we couldn't decide where to go. There were some that wanted to go to Keldor.
Yes, I believe I got a DM from a certain paladin in the group
Mhm.
whilst I was
I
on the
wonder
bus.
who that was.
He fucking woke me up.
I mean, you needed to wake up. That was your station.
And he didn't respond?
I did respond.
So why didn't he tell us?
He did, but it
Oh, he
came with
did?
a delay. I believe it was already like towards. I'm not sure if it was quite after we had finished, but
Yeah, there was a weird like delay in my receiving notifications whilst I was on the bus.
mhm.
Probably no reception for a while.
Yeah. But I answered with Waterdeep.
So we go to the
Keldor.
deep water.
Well, from what I understand, it was a tie, so we're going right to the middle between the two.
Yeah, that's
Um,
perfect for me. There's a cleric there that I want.
Really? Westwood is here? Damn, I can go play CNC there.
Oh
Good.
no, that's been discontinued. It's a mobile title now.
Oh, no, why did you remind?
I think that Westwood has already not existed for like what, more than 10 years.
Well over.
At least.
Now I'm sad.
Aren't we all?
I mean, Westwood was a great company.
It was back in the day.
Fucking EA.
So,
Yes.
yes.
I
The
shall solve this debate.
Why do
Oh,
you want to go to Waterdeep?
2003 it was bought by EA. Sorry, I had to check that.
The issue
Above?
we're having is that out of character, we know we should probably take Waterdeep, but in character, it's more pressing to go to Keldor.
Yeah, but my character was objecting to Keldor.
Under 50, Keldell. Above 50, Waterdeep.
Wait, what is your character decision, Dom? Come on. That
My
doesn't make
character
any
decision-
sense.
My character decision would be probably the more pressing issue.
Keldor is not pressing. It's
there's
burning
just a
already for a
fire.
month.
There's just a fire on the mountaintop that
It's been
doesn't
already
seem to
burning
be.
for a month. I mean, what's what's pressing about that?
It doesn't seem
It's
to
not
be burning
advancing. It's not
out.
moving. What's
Also-
pressing about it?
Also, nobody's heard from Keldel.
The
Yeah,
beacons are
no
lit.
one is complaining.
Gondor calls for help.
I mean, I've got the solution to that fire on the top of the mountain.
Also, they
so...
sent already adventurers from Waterdeep. I mean, it's probably solved within some time.
Well, I mean, they were sent a month ago, so if they're even worse than us, that's really concerning.
It was a level 1 party. Come on.
Look, I have the solution for the fire.
Or they're actually planning how to act and not like us just bursting in.
It's called Decanter of Endless Water.
Yeah.
So here's the thing,
Should be a
it's a
breeze.
magical fire.
Do you know that?
Yes. When someone describes to me a fire that stays in place and doesn't burn anything, yes, I know that.
It was theorized in last session.
What if it's just a metric ton of kobolds constantly running back and forth with lava?
It should be
That
that.
doesn't even
It
make
so
sense.
should be that.
The cryptic garden is just slowly vanishing day by day.
As is parts of Westwood.
I mean, if we're going towards that direction, we could go to Cornerberry, just behind those mountains.
Just
I mean,
behind those mountains.
Yep. There's just the mountains and a massive ravine in the way, but sure.
I mean,
It's okay. We'll get plenty of speed coming down the other side of the mountain
why
to
do I
clear
need to
that
go
ravine.
to
Yeah.
here to go to Cornerberry? I can
you
go
can-
straight.
You can definitely like Dukes of Hazard it and jump the gap.
So, are we going off road then? Because there is no road here.
There is.
There's a path. It's
I
not
don't
much of a
see
road
road.
though. There's a path.
The path of
Back.
death.
The path of
And there
most
goes our
resistance.
decision.
Yep.
Bark, bark.
I love it when
Bark.
people leave just as they need to decide things.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part of the DM.
I mean,
What are
I'm
you
not
going
in
to
a
do?
hurry.
Work.
Okay, I just need to go now.
I'm not in a hurry. Are you?
No, no.
I haven't been in a hurry since Kundrakar.
Why weren't you hurrying in the car?
Yes.
Jesus.
What?
He got pizza.
What did he say? Pizza.
Said yes.
Don't you work in a pizzeria? Why are you excited by pizza now?
It's cold.
Cold. It's 29 degrees. How are you cold?
Because I have the circulation of a corpse.
I mean, that can be good circulation. How long ago did it
Just
die?
ask Midrash.
Huh.
So, unless you wish to do anything with the remainder of that day where, well, you hatched the guard drake, which was towards the evening. Unless you wish to do anything with that, the 18th rolls around.
Woohoo!
You recover your card successfully.
It was very hard.
Oh, it's made of wood.
The
Yeah.
There is actually something that I'd like to do the evening before.
mm-hmm.
I must give birth to more eyes.
Well, there you go.
So I'm going to have some fun trying to keep an eye on, wink wink, a newly hatched Gardrake while creating more eyes.
Okay.
That couldn't possibly be a bad combination.
No.
Kesh, I actually thought of a way for you to follow things. We shall cast haste on one of your eyes.
So I can move 10 feet per minute.
So much faster.
Twice
Twice
as
the
fast.
speed.
So
Did I get an answer on the question about eye sockets, by the way?
oh, the placing them in the skeleton's eye sockets.
Mm.
The sight of the skeleton seems hindered by having this blockage in the eye socket. But they could probably still go through with most orders you give them. And they should probably be just as good shots as before.
Thank you. So yeah, I will be creating 3 more eyes.
Okay.
An eye
Very
for an
lovely
eye.
hours of
Where would you
stress.
place the first eye?
I want one.
I have a map case that I'm not actually using for anything reasonable
It's
right now.
it's just gonna be one of those tubes that hold tennis balls.
Yep.
Oh,
Why
actually,
not
you can
attach them to
have
the
fun with
skeleton's
that.
heads like a
You can
GoPro?
have
I'm
like
going, but they
actually,
have a mask on, so I need to work on having an opening for the third eye.
I was thinking about it. If you put all your eyes in that thing, you can actually have them walk in circles, one after the other. And then you can watch through all the eyes at once.
If
That will
you
do
if
a
you
headache.
set them in the scroll case and then just have them roll it around, they can probably beat their normal speed
Yes, they could probably move at 7 feet round.
until
Sorry,
they
a minute.
smack into a wall and won't be able to back up again.
It'll
Hmm.
take a while.
They move even faster
Imagine
downhill.
if they get downhill.
Yeah,
Well, that will be a problem because they will keep like.
that's when you call it farsight.
So I currently then will be able
Yes.
to make 3 that day and the one that I have the day before, making it 4 total.
Hmm
And then the day
Every,
after.
every time you successfully do the spell and an eye pops out, you see the red guard rake uh, jumping excitedly, trying to lunge towards the eye.
Not a ball. I need to buy them a ball.
Ask
Oh,
me
this
to
is going to be
design
an
you one.
amazing 1 month.
Ask me to get you a ball. That'll be a ball.
When you take the eye away from its reach, it instead um, turns to gnawing at your tail.
I see this one is a bit more of a hassle, but that's fine.
This one's a biter.
Hmm.
And you know those puppy teeth too, it's
Teething and all.
yeah, it's nasty.
Have you
Nasty.
given any thought to if you want charge put on anything, by the way? Either of you two.
Actually, if you're offering, I do.
Hmm.
Oh, but 1 second. Charge is only if they touch it willingly.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
if you put charge on a crossbow bolt and it sticks into them, it's not going to go off, but they will have to touch it to, yank it out. So,
Not
work
necessarily.
around.
There are battlefield medics, and at that point you're setting a trap and for a medic, which I believe is against the Geneva Convention. So
Yeah,
the
but
good
that's
news is
okay.
that
It
there is
doesn't
no
exist.
Geneva in this world.
yes, that we know
Luckily
of.
for us. I mean, actually, then I think I do have something I want to put it on.
He wants me to put it on.
Where is it? I will ask you to put it on a what
Mug.
seems to be a blank parchment. No, paper. Sorry. Actually, parchment. Parchment.
Only one or two?
One. You offer two? I thought that you wanted only one.
We'll be traveling for a while, so I can
So
do
two.
3 times a day.
Well, for now, do two.
It's not like I have anything else to do with the magic. Now that I finished with the eyes.
Um,
Um,
one thing. Just a question. How much would wax cost?
Sealing
Wax.
wax.
Sealing wax, yes.
Sealing wax is in the
It's in the
Yeah, I'm
list
book
of
asking how
items.
much it
somewhere.
costs here.
Let me just check the base price first.
Mhm.
There. Around here it would cost 7 silver for a full stick.
How many times would it be useful for? Just so I know.
Probably around 10 if
Okay.
if you tend to stamp it with a signet ring. But other than that, if it's just a lot of sealing wax, then probably you could stretch it out to 20.
Okay. I'll write it 20 because I don't actually have a thing. Signet ring. Yeah. So that is done. Oh, I have a Dwergar silver signet ring.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to use that.
I
Anyways,
wonder
let's
where
go.
that came from.
I know where it came from. Just
I
didn't remember
am
that I
going
have it.
to, before, while Holm is going out to get the cart and stuff, I will go and arrange for the return of the cauldron.
All right.
Return of the Cauldron. It's the third movie in the series.
Yeah. The actually the
The two cauldrons.
same place that Home is going to. Um, although they don't normally send too much stuff between places, they do have a shipment heading quite close to Belliard to a farm.
Perfect. Are they asking for, or is there any cost, or is it something they're just for
Mm,
free, which I doubt.
uh, let's see. Yeah. Considering that they have been working on your guys' cart during their normally quite quiet season. Let's see. Uh, 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 uh. It would cost you probably only like 6 silver to send it. They need some weight on the wagon anyway, if they're gonna cross over.
Okay, 6 silver. And I'd also like to hire, or to see if there's anyone heading to Coney, no, not Coneyberry, Tribor.
Chibor.
I need to I need to get a small square box for one of the eyes to be sent to the tower.
Okay. Um, so you find a couple of um, younger guys kind of hanging around, clearly having no job currently in the winter season. And they offer to run it off for you. Um,
Yeah, to not make it a completely like silly trip. I also ask them to ask for a progress report on the repairs and building on the tower,
mhm. Do
and
you
of
give
any.
them? Do you give them?
The address.
Well, a good directions to the tower.
That way.
Yes, and I will inform them of how to. Or if they are unsure, they can also just ask in Tribor about the old lookout tower on the forest's edge.
Okay. They will charge you a whopping um, 2 gold for the box being sent out, and the same amount once they return with message from the tower.
Yep. They. I'll await the message in Red Larch.
All right.
I'll tell them to leave it with Lamura.
Okay. They can do that.
Excellent. Well, that is me set.
Well, I will arrange one of the parchment after you gave me the words for the charge. I will kind of close one, kind of roll up one, put the sealing wax on it, and then using a dagger to kind of carve on it like a fake like a fake signal on it.
Sure.
And then I will put it in the front pocket in my jacket. To kind of it should be like kind of half obvious, not completely obvious, but obvious
Sure.
enough.
Okay.
And that's how I will. I mean, from now on, this is my basically there.
Okay. Right. In
It's
the
made
mean.
of parchment, so it looks good.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Pocket taser.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, it's in case someone tries to rob me.
Some CR1 half schmuck comes up and tugs it, bzz, and immediately just like vaporizes.
That will teach him a lesson.
Vaporizes or explodes.
Now, the beauty of it is that
Yeah.
it doesn't actually harm my parchment. We can actually do a charge again on it.
It's lightning damage.
Yeah.
You know
But it
what
doesn't
happens
affect
to the
the
human
item.
body if it's struck by sufficiently high temperatures?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Oh,
also the
you're
part where
you're gonna have eye goop all over you.
A fine red mist just is suddenly in front of the gnome.
We'll need some wipers.
Here we go, sir. Let me just take that.
is it only one use?
Yeah, but the parchment
Yeah.
won't be destroyed.
It stays on whatever I put it on until discharged, and then
Mhm.
it's gone.
So please try to rob me.
And you can
I
seek
kinda
a
want it on my
command
con-
word.
What?
Kind of want
Sorry?
my coin pouch now.
I'm not stealing from your
We're going to
pouch, no.
Waterdeep eventually. Might be a good idea.
Let's see. What's the prison or the laws about murdering even simple pickpockets in Waterdeep?
Oh, don't worry about it.
I mean, we're not going currently to Waterdeep. For now, we can kill all we meet.
Speaking of slaying, home, you as you're fetching the cart and getting it all set up, the guy who talked to you most about this whole deal, not the mechanic, but like the salesman up front, he hands you this little booklet, and on the cover there's this crude drawing of a wagon, and then beside it it says service manual.
How long is it?
It currently only has 1 page inside, and even that page is just the service slip from this visit.
He expects more.
I just kind of look at it like, open it. This is a rather terrible notebook. It only has 1 page.
Oh, you add pages to it every time you have your cart serviced. It's very usual.
I would say it's not enough pages.
You add pages with every service.
Can't you give me extra pages just in case?
No, that would be a waste of paper.
Yeah, but what if I need to give it out to someone? I need a copy.
You can have a notary copy it for you.
Yay! I kind of hold out my hand.
I'm not a notary.
Oh, should be.
He just kind of grumbles something and goes back inside.
That's the best way to deal with a gnome.
You see him through the window a moment later, just chugging this massive mug of steaming hot coffee.
Do you think they know the winter is coming? Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
They're drinking a lot of coffee. If I was them, I would drink less and sleep for the winter.
Gnomes hibernate?
No, I thought humans do.
No.
Oh,
Druids, maybe.
I thought because you look more like bears than gnomes. Most of you are very hairy.
It says nothing of dwarfs.
I mean, at least we're not the size of a bear. Also, I shave every few years.
Is that how long it takes one chin hair to show up?
If you're going to be that way, we might as well finish this conversation about this. Now, that way! Oh,
We
by the
have
way, I
to
learned
hitch the
that from
drakes
a...
first.
Oh. Well, I learned that from our goblin friend who's recently deceased.
He died how he lived.
I don't know how he lived,
With a
but he
rapier
certainly
stuck
died.
through him. Betrayed by his friend.
It wasn't me that stabbed him, no. That wasn't me. I mean, I didn't kill him. It was who did actually kill him? Was it me?
I believe it was
Oh,
you.
okay.
Listen to the murderer.
I didn't
Acting
remember that
all
I actually killed him.
innocent.
No, I didn't remember that I actually killed him.
I believe you were also the only one in the room, and you stabbed him in the back.
Well, there was a reason for it. He annoyed me about something.
He was trying to
I don't know
take his
why.
share of the treasure.
Well, that's rude. He told us that we can have everything in the tower. That's as far as I remember.
Well, anywho,
He asked us to save him from the dragon. I saved him from the dragon. He should have been thankful and left. Anyways,
Sure.
Speaking of dragons, how big is the guard rake since it takes 1 month to fully grow?
Well, when it first hatched, it was big enough that you could hold it in one hand, basically.
like a cat.
Um, Overnight, it has already grown to the size where you need to hold it with 2 hands.
Tomorrow it will be 3 hands.
So it grows
Yeah,
very
grows
quickly,
very
but the growth kind of slows down the closer and closer it gets to the final size.
How many days are we anticipating the trip will take?
Well,
3 days?
the Keldel, 2 or 3 days, depending on
Navigation.
what the path is like in wintertime.
I have found the perfect path. We go through here. Like that.
Instead of using the path.
Yes.
Was it-
Or we
which-
can go through here. Like that.
Hmm.
This is a path.
It's certainly a path.
We'll just take the path that leads all the way up round Connieberry, back down and round the Sword Mountains.
I mean, we could pass by Neverwinter if we're already on that side of the place.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, you're the driver, so, you know.
Probably about 2 or 3 days, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you take the path there, it's gonna be 2 or 3 days.
The path of most
But
resistance.
I mean, if you go around, it's
Gosh, I want to go Warlock Script. Sounds like a nice place.
I was more thinking of feeding for the beasties because our party inventory is still listed as draft horses. We have 22 days of feed.
I believe we settled on it being roughly the same amount. I believe when it comes to the cost and amount of feed you need to have.
Can't we feed it bunnies? Innocent bunnies.
Yeah, there is also the part where I can catch bunnies.
Yeah,
Cash.
I mean,
Theo, I don't like that circle of fire. It's too ominous. I want a fluffy one. Pink one. With hearts. Yes, that's much better. Much smaller than the other one that was. Oh, there we go. That's just the candle burning from a distance.
there you go.
Much better.
Much
more
happier.
fluffy. Yep.
Happy little
It's green,
fire.
it's yellow. Yep. I mean, if it was that painter, Bob Ross.
Shall we get
Just
going
a
then?
happy little fire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting for
Home.
the driver to decide.
Home is driving.
Yep.
I mean, he's our designated driver
Apparently so.
because
I'll
he can't drink
hitch
alcohol anymore.
Zerdril, and I'm assuming Emidus will be fine to get hitched.
Shouldn't be a problem. I'm more concerned with the new one. But good thing we have lots of space on the flatbed to, well,
Accommodate for
in
now.
the cart.
Yeah.
We could
For now.
attach
For the time
another
being,
cart
yeah.
to it.
Mm.
Let's move.
Um,
Forward!
I'll
To
spend
Red
the
Lodge.
time on the trip trying to like teach it various things like discipline and listening and you know the basics that needs to be put in place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Torn.
All right. So you head off out of Red
Yes.
Lodge, heading
Sadly.
westward.
Yep.
Goodbye, Red Lodge. It was a pleasure. Don't remember what we did there. Oh, right. We signed some documents.
Shenanigans.
Yes, that.
We're back.
Very
I
much
will
that.
truly miss that one person that I helped with his book. And then our driver left.
Yes. You will be happy to know that the first day of travel
Has been eventful.
is ominously uneventful.
Oh dear. I will look towards the sky this entire time.
Ominously.
Yes. The fire rages on up ahead as you get closer and closer to it. The
Does it become
forest.
smaller and smaller the more we advance towards it?
No.
I thought that it would be like a movie that it keeps being the same size no matter how far you go.
This isn't a B movie where we don't have the special effects to keep it like at the correct size.
No, it's actually I took
Um,
it from the Holy Grail. It's just a model.
It's just model. Shh. Um, so you follow the path from Red Larch, heading almost straight west until you reach the very outskirts of Crypt Garden Forest, at which
Let's
point
go
it
in.
starts to bend around the forest on the southern side, heading towards Keldel. the
What do we know about Crypt Garden Forest and why it's, well, named as such?
I mean, I would guess there is a crypt and a garden
I mean, you
in the
can
forest.
roll a history check.
Yay!
Woo.
One moment. One moment. Where's my history? I don't have one. Oh, there it is. There we go. I know everything about it. If everything is nothing,
Let's
then
see.
yes, I know everything.
So the most basic stuff you've heard of Crypt Garden Forest um, is information which you have gathered quite recently regarding there being a druid circle active in the forest. Um, as for the naming of the forest, you don't actually have a clear idea of why it's called that.
I do. It's a crypt garden forest.
You, Midrash, yeah, Midrash, you've heard that the the mighty adventuring writer called Volo traveled through the area.
That guy.
Um, traveled to the area quite far to the northern edges of it, called the Crooked Forest. And he described the place as a place of walking, living trees.
Did you
It,
tell anything about it?
it's become a fair tourist destination in the recent years after Wallows traveled through it.
I'm going to keep that to myself
Aww.
because it's on the north side of it,
Yeah,
Yeah, towards your tower.
where we live.
we should go visit it.
Very few people actually visit like the thicker portions towards the south.
Must be
We should go to
because
Westwood.
of the druids.
Mm.
What do we don't know about Westwood? Except for it being in the west.
Westwood is kind of mysterious in its own right. It's
At least the
more
game.
known.
92.
People people in general know more about Westwood because it's a fairly common stop for adventurers heading out of Waterdeep for the first time, and it's known to be fairly infested with orcs and orcs and trolls generally. But
Troll's blood.
in uh, in more recent decades, it's quieted down again. The height of that activity was uh, several centuries ago.
Hunted to mere almost extinction, then they need to let it, regrow its population. There you go.
Well, not so much
I mean,
that,
second
but
edition almost killed the place, and then fifth edition. They wait until fifth edition to recover.
well, it would more be like events before first edition killed killed everything there. Um, but yeah, the area in
Let's
the Westwood
see.
has
Making
been
sure I have
fairly
Scorching Ray memorized.
quiet. I don't see why you
Why
would
do you
need
need
that.
Scorching Ray?
Trolls?
I don't know anything about trolls. Do you, as a character?
If the beggars that I meet in Baldur's Gate are anything to go by, even they know that you kill trolls with fire. The
Do you?
greatest dwarven hero in this local area, Durlag the Troll Killer, was famed for his fiery appearance and effects.
Mm.
Yeah, but you don't know that it actually affects trolls more.
Not affects them more, ends
You
them.
you did meet one troll before Midrash.
Was he nice?
Where was that actually?
That was in the Sunless
In
Citadel.
yeah. The very end, wasn't it? The last floor?
No. First floor, when you finally took the left entrance instead of the right.
Oh, yes.
It was the sealed crypt.
Mm-hmm. We still haven't figured out what's in the rest of the frozen place.
Mm.
Hey, shall we
Curious.
go back to the Citadel?
uh,
There's like
Liam,
a half a section we didn't touch.
Liam would be so pissed.
We should go to Barovia.
uh, on your second day of travel, the terrain becomes much rougher to traverse.
I don't like
It's
it.
it becomes
It's
rockier
not nice to do
ground.
the triangle.
It's it's sloping upwards. Um, roughly half a day of journey. um, half a day of journeying into down towards Kaldal, you start seeing the forest, uh, the forests on both sides starting to kind of enclose towards the path. This path being kind of like the border between these two massive forests. And you see on the westward side that some of the trees have started to grow in a very strange color.
What color?
Um,
A
this
strange
I
one.
don't know which color is strange.
shimmering, shimmering red color.
Hmm. Are they hot? I mean, feeling like they're
No,
warmer?
they are covered in snow as all the other trees you have seen so far.
Is it just
Nothing
a
else.
reflection from the mountain?
No.
I would like to pick a leaf of them and just try to, put it in the fireplace that we have at night and see if it burns.
Sure.
Burns?
Um, Yes, it burns.
Okay. So I will leave it at that. Just wanted to know if it's actually something weird. Since it's not, then we'll leave it at that. I don't know why it's red, but I'm guessing no one will want me to go explore into the wood.
Oh, by all means, go.
Get lost.
I'm taking you with me.
Nope.
Through the rest of
I
the
mean, homie, you should be for going into the woods. You met the stag in your woods.
Ah, yes, the undead dead.
Yes.
Mm.
The
Of course, you want to
undead.
meet another one. They might make you stop drinking milk.
Throughout the rest of your day's voyage, after you note the strangeness of the trees, you start noticing more and more disparity between the trees the closer you get to Keldel, um, between how they look and how normal trees look. Towards the end of the day,
When we approach Caldwell, before we
you
when
still
we
have a
can see it
day.
in the distance, I have something. Yeah, before we enter, just let me know because I actually
Yeah.
have something before we enter.
Towards the end of the day, just before you start like setting up camp, you start noticing that the bark on the trees on either side of the path seems runny. It's like it's wax which is melting off the surface of the trees.
Is there any stick in the region?
Yes.
I'll pick up a stick and poke a tree.
All right. Roll a 1d100.
Woo! Finally, I can roll something. 67. It's almost 69. You must give me that.
Same as Ob said.
You pick up the stick and it screams.
Hello?
And it
Hello?
goes silent.
I poke it.
You poke it and it begins to slowly melt right where you poked it, kind of drooping downwards.
One sec.
Find another stick and poke it with a stick.
I will take out one of my ball bearings and then kind of poke it until it's all around the ball bearing. Hey,
Okay.
look! Is it actually made of wood?
Yeah. Seems to be.
Cool. I will
It's
This
take
is
just
another one.
the
melting.
second day, right?
Yes, towards the end of the second day of travel.
I will take another 2 sticks and make it so it will be a wooden ball, the ball bearing.
Are you trying
Just
to
poke them
mold it
until.
around?
Yep.
All right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you
they don't want to respond, so I will just poke it.
sure.
Unless they respond when I say hi.
Nope. As you
Alright,
keep
so
poking these
pokey.
sticks, which keep melting in your hands, you notice that they are made of wood, definitely, but it seems like you can shape them just as you would with clay.
Oh, now I will go crazy. Wait, I just need to double check something. I'm pretty sure I
I'll
have it.
start ritual casting detect magic.
Okay.
Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Are there any of the trees nearby?
Alright,
Yes.
I have the idea. I will gather approximately 5 sticks and then start shaping them into a fishing pole.
Okay.
And then I will go up to Holm and hand it the fishing pole. Now you can also fish for us.
Does it retain its shape?
For a limited time.
So as soon as he hands me it, it just starts drooping.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep turning it once you start fishing. It's
I'm
not
just gonna place it.
perfect.
I'm just gonna place it on his head, and let it just droop
I'm going
around
to
his
quickly
head.
remove it. I'll just use the pole to try and poke him in the leg before I put it on the floor.
Sure. You manage a single poke before it kind of droops too too limp to do anything.
I think these sticks are weird.
Midrash, your ritual cast succeeds. You do not detect any new sources of magic around you.
I mean, you.
I'd like to inspect the wagon to see if it's starting to show similar signs.
No, at least not so far. It still seems very firm and solid.
Firm.
If this starts affecting the wagon, we will have limited time here.
I mean, it could be very interesting to try and poke the wagon into shape.
You do realize that all that's going to happen is the wagon's going to be a pancake.
Is it tasty?
I'm sure it tastes like wood.
Sounds like a wooden adventure.
You would say that, wouldn't you?
Wood with ice cream. Anyways, where are we parking? Here? There? That spot? This spot?
Away from the trees, I suggest.
Why? What's wrong with the trees? They seem nice.
I don't like them. Unless they drool over us as we sleep.
I mean, they might be liking us because they drool, you know? They might be hungry. Do you have something to feed them? Maybe wood?
If you sleep under the tree, they can be eating you. Isn't that great?
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to use my sphere.
And what if your sphere starts dripping?
My sphere doesn't drip.
That do you know of yet?
Also, it will shape around the sphere and cause a very nice wooden house.
Mm-hmm.
Just need to add a door to it.
I'll let you consider how to make that from the inside.
I'll find a place that isn't actually underneath a tree.
I'll park as far away from the trees as I can get.
So in the middle of the path, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And while we, until we kind of finish setting up, I will try and make the tallest pole I can with the thing.
Okay.
Setting
Every,
up,
ev-
I'm just putting my bedroll on next to the car.
every now and again, when you pick up one of these sticks, it screams. Not all of them
Yeah.
scream, just some of them.
Yeah, I just keep every time one of them screams, I just try to talk to it. Stupid sticks.
um, just as
And I
you're
will
all,
put my bubble.
yep, just as you've all managed to set up, and start your rest.
Oh, before we go to rest,
Mm-hmm.
in my sphere, I will actually put away all the sticks from inside, so there won't be any sticks inside the.
Sure.
I don't know. Screaming sticks doesn't sound like a good way to go to sleep. It will keep waking me up.
Sure. Do you set up a guard for the night?
I would guess yes.
Yes. And I'd like to take my guard or use my the intent of use my guard is to study the phenomenon while
Mm-hmm.
not actually guarding as much.
Sure.
And I'll
Who's on
also
first?
give Emitus the message to if Thrina tries to run off and do something, he is to return her.
Okay.
You never know with the rascal.
True. Who's going first?
What's on second?
SR is going first.
Yes,
I'll
Okay.
take
have
last
plans.
watch.
I'll take middle then.
Okay.
I have plans for my watch.
Oh God. He's gonna build a wall and make Westwood pay for it.
I mean, I don't need anyone to pay for it. I can just make it.
So SR,
Yes.
you begin your watch amidst
Anything
these
interesting?
drooping trees.
Are they still drooping?
They are. They're not on top of you exactly, so there is that.
And I have my sphere around me for now.
Well, yeah.
I will just kind of pick up one of these sticks just outside the sphere as I guard and start trying to shape it into this ball and kind of try to bounce it on my hand as I guard.
Mm-hmm.
And try with pokes to add 2 eyes and a mouth to it.
Okay. Yeah. Make a perception check.
Of the ball, I think I can see it fine. It's just in front of me. Just kidding. 1 second. Just to get there. Perception. Persuasion, I can roll better.
Okay.
9. I can see perfectly.
Great.
I have advantage because reasons. There you
Sure.
go. Just ignore the advantage, but
Yeah. So you're quite occupied with poking at this stick and molding it. Um, when you kind of feel something um, in the ground right beneath you, and then
earthquake.
and then right
I will
beside
actually yell that. I mean, that's in character, the earthquake yell.
Mm-hmm.
You can continue to describe it. I just described what the.
Right beside you, out of the ground rises this um, earthworm,
How big?
about the size of your middle finger, actually.
I will try to fit it, the ball.
The
Just gonna
earthworm,
shove it in there.
the earthworm uh, turns itself to kind of like look in right at you, and you see
Don't look at me.
a single eye pops out, and then 2 others, and then 3 more, and then a row of
Flick, is that
10,
you? I will
and
kind of
you
slowly
hear
kind of
this.
slide away from it
Mhm.
as I look at it, kind of right.
As more eyes pop out, you just step further further away.
The earthworm looks at
I
you.
will slide towards home. By the way.
Sure. The earthworm looks at you for a moment, and then you hear this kind of tiny squeaky noise coming from it.
You would
And
see kind of me keep sliding as I look at it, kind of screeching silently as I go to home and just kind of poke him very roughly on his back. Wake up! We have eyes following us from everywhere.
Isn't that just Madrash's spell?
No, 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 no! It's an earthworm with millions of eyes.
home roll a
I
perception
need you
check.
to poke it. I need you to poke it with your stick. With your lots of sticks, the ones you shoot from your bow.
Okay, you see this earthworm in the midst of the
Well, the sphere is already gone if I leave it. So.
in the midst of the ground making up the path and bits of the snow with these like almost 20 eyes now staring straight up at SR. And you hear this faint noise which sounds as if someone is saying, should have turned left at Albuquerque.
Kill it! Kill it with fire!
Do you have fire?
No.
I'm just gonna pick up a nearby rock if I can find one,
Yes.
And I will hide behind them.
and
What
just throw it at it.
Okay. Roll to hit.
I'll just use Berthan's Swing for that.
I
Sure.
heard a story about these things. When you throw things at them, they throw bigger things at you.
Okay. The stone kind of like hits the ground and then bounces straight into the earthworm and then keeps rolling on. The earthworm looks as if it kind of sticks to the rock and twirls around with it for a moment before it starts to just kind of melt from around it and into the ground.
Ha! Now kill all the rest of them.
There's only one.
Wait for it. With those many eyes, they probably have kids. And you will see SR kind of holding on to your pants kind of thing and kind of looking around as if I'm waiting something to come out.
I haven't actually stood up. I done that from a
Oh.
seating position.
Alright, so I'll still hold on to your pants.
Why are you holding on to my leg?
In case it becomes an earthworm, I have a rapier to kill it. I will not let you turn into an earthworm.
Madrash,
Right.
the worms are weird as well.
You woke me up for that.
They have too many eyes.
They
They
tried to
have
kill me.
eyes.
Well, earthworms don't have eyes, but never mind that.
Is it staring intimidatingly at you?
No,
It
it was
was until it
intimidating
hit
at
a
me.
rock.
Problem
Whoa.
solved.
Then it melted.
You guys realize we're headed towards a place that's been rumored for madness, right?
I'm not mad. You're mad. Stop sleeping. There's an earthworm somewhere. Come on,
I'm
wake up.
just going to ignore that.
I'm going to keep shaking your leg as I kind of point towards the ground everywhere.
Just go sleep in the car.
Who's guarding?
I'm
I'm
awake now.
guarding. Well, I mean, you can go to sleep. I will guard. Just keep awake.
I'm just gonna climb up onto the driver's seat of the car and just sit back and sleep in that position now.
I will keep guarding. And
Still in
though
your
this
bedroll.
the remaining
I
time
would
of my
literally,
guard, I'm just
I,
going to keep an eye out. Like,
I will literally just take the bedroll and go like that with myself in the bedroll, in the car. Just burrito myself.
I
All right.
will use my rapier every now and then if I can see a hole in the ground, kind of stick it in there to kind of kill whatever is coming.
Oh boy. Throughout the rest of your watch, SR, you don't see any other strange earthworms or other critters staring at you.
Ha! I will go to the cart, and before I do, I actually will wake up Midrash for his guard,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will go in to the cart, to the back of the cart, and cast my ritual. This
Okay.
way, there's a ground beneath me. I mean, a cart beneath me, so the ground isn't going to open up with earthworms.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then well, I will actually cast a tiny servant and tell it to wake me up. I mean, yeah, wake me up
Before you
in
go,
case
go.
if anything enters the, if anything enters the sphere, kind of thing.
Sure.
It has blind sight, so it should be good.
Okay.
It keeps waking you up and telling you that there are several worms underground.
No, it's what it can see.
Blind
Blind
sight.
sight. Yeah, but I'm on the cart.
Mm. So, Midrash, you wake up.
Good morning.
How would you like to study these events going on around you?
Please poke them.
I treat it like a magical experiment where you just try things to see what happens. Like, what if I expose it to a bit of evocation, or just trying random things to see what happens and see how it responds.
Okay. Let's see. Uh, 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 uh. Good. What do you want to start with first?
I can't really think of anything other than trying random things to see what happens.
Okay.
Crossing two different pieces with each other, touching various metals and other materials to them and seeing if they react, cutting them in two to see if they actually have internals. You know,
Okay.
experiment.
So the branches and uh, pieces of bark and whatever else that you might pick up and study, they all definitely kind of melt in your hands and can be molded as if they were clay. When they touch metal, nothing strange happens. When you cut them, it they retain the texture of wood on the inside and like the structure of wood, except that every strand just kind of melts.
Mm, expose it to fire.
All right.
Exposing it temporarily, but then dousing it to see if it scorches, if it melts, if it burns.
Hmm. It catches fire as normal. Um, yes, it also like melts while it is in contact with you, but once it's in the fire, it quickly combusts as any piece of wood would. Any piece of wood would.
Woodwood.
You would think so.
Hmm.
I'd
Would
also try
definitely
to
seem
expose
so.
it to what other liquids that I have, and bone. I do have some bone. Water. My empty wineskin that I can pour a bit of spare water over into so I can see how it reacts to water.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, when you... Huh. Oh, drat. When you pour water on it, you see these tiny strands of what seem to be hair kind of puff up from the point where the water droplets hit.
I'll go over, and since Holm has moved from his regular sleeping spot, I'm guessing his stuff remains there. I'll take out his decanter and use it on the lowest setting and just douse an area.
Oh boy. Um, so you want to just douse the ground beneath you,
A
or
bit of a
like?
ground, no, not beneath you, but a bit of ground at a distance, perhaps with a tree, and just trying to cover as much things as possible in a small burst of water.
Sure. So geyser it up.
Um,
It's only 30 gallons.
yeah.
Okay. So you just kind of, I guess, randomly pick a direction and douse the area with water, and you see these tiny tufts of green hair or fur um, popping up here and there. You can count as many as 10. They seem
Don't
to
you
be
know,
sticking out from the ground itself.
if I learned anything from gremlins, is never to feed it after midnight.
And never get it wet.
I'd like to examine one of these tufts of hair.
Sure. How would you like to examine it?
Visually at first, and then physically.
Okay. Visually, it seems like a very dense, um, uh, a dense patch of this weird ass fur, which has just kind of broken through the ground itself and the snow atop. Um, when you touch it, it recoils back into the ground.
Okay.
I want to eat it now.
I want to know what the fuck it is now.
No, I'm actually more interested in eating it.
You gotta catch it first.
I'm going to take the decanter. I'm going to take out one of the soap balls and hold it in front and start spraying an area.
You're
Are
gonna
we talking full geyser effect this time?
you're gonna
Oh, yeah.
power wash these. Uh,
Theo,
so
I hope you don't have anything else planned in the campaign. This is where we stop.
yeah, I think so. Um, so do you focus on the same area, or do you move to a new area?
As with any experiment, you 50-50. About half of that and half new.
Okay. So you hit some of these tufts of fur as well as fresh ground. On the fresh ground, you see you see the snow begin to bubble in places. In where the soapy water hits the green patches of fur. After a moment, the shade of the fur turns from green into this kind of like light orange.
Okay, now it's time to start creating theories.
I mean, I'm sleeping. I can't help you. I have
Based on
many
how
theories,
I
but
don't
I can't.
detect any new sources of magic, is there any way for me to experiment with is the weave actually present like as it should be in an area? Is there a way for me to do that somehow?
It would take a lot of time and experimentation with your spells. Basically, just kind of noting down any irregularities in your spell casting, the effect of the spell if that's changed, and sort of that kind of um, checking the errors in spell casting, basically. Um, it would probably take you, well, to come to a solid conclusion, it would probably take you the rest of the night. Uh, but you could try a few spells and just see if they work. That already like gets rid of
Confirms
any.
the weave.
Yeah, it confirms that there is the weave there,
Mm.
and if it's a wild magic zone.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one of the things I want to know if it is a wild magic zone. This campaign is not long after we had the time of troubles
Nope.
where magic was a bit wonky.
It still is in places.
So that's the first suspect he has, seeing as how this is either a weird area wide illusion or it's an actual malfunction in the weave or something.
Fix the weave. Someone weave it back into shape.
So, what spell do
Oh,
you
don't worry.
wish to cast?
Fireball.
Something that's a ritual. I'm
Fireball as
guessing
a
detect
ritual.
magic is going to be a necessity. I will manually cast Necrotic Feast actually while touching one of the things.
One of the tufts of fur?
Yes. I'll go for a green one initially.
Okay, it recoils
Actually,
into the
no.
ground.
I'll take an orange one.
Okay. Those do not recoil into the ground when you touch them.
And what do they do? Here's the spell if you want to know what it is.
When you touch them, they feel kind of nice and warm and very soft to touch. And they start to kind of vibrate very gently as you cast your spell.
It's a vibrator. Natural vibrator.
And I don't feel any effect from the Necrotic Feast, as in it's not a dead entity I have touched.
It is not a corpse, that's for sure. However,
However.
I'm gonna put you to roll this shit. Roll a 1d 10,000.
Oh, good. That can't go wrong.
This is gonna be fun.
8,513.
8,513.
It's a good number.
All right.
Pretty sure that's the world magic table.
Don't worry
Not
about it.
sure. Could also be a table for how many trinkets.
Okay.
Or how he dies.
How many hairs to actually puncture his body?
So you have a campfire still lit, right?
I haven't been keeping it up.
I would say a campfire is a necessity for any guard-based rotation.
Why? I can see in the dark.
Yep.
I mean,
There would have been
you're
a
gonna be
campfire.
freezing.
Would be freezing, and home
Oh.
can't see in the dark.
Well,
Neither can I. Can actually, yeah.
Okay.
But I was guarding before you.
So, the next time you look towards the camp, Midrash, you notice that even though there is the flickering light of the flames, kind of stretching out, lighting up the area, you don't see the fire itself.
Okay. That'll make me go towards it and kind of like holding out a hand to
Oh yeah,
see if I can
it's still
sense.
warm. There's still a fire there, you just can't see it.
I'll try to light up with my own torch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your torch starts to emit light, and the kind of like patch of fabric wrapped around the head um, turns black and like embers, as it does when it's on fire. Don't see a flame on it.
Okay. I'll mark that as gone and discard it into the campfire, where I assume the campfire should be.
Mm-hmm.
Is.
Mm-hmm.
well, you
Yeah,
should probably be able to see the like pile.
I mean, yeah, you can see the wood there, and you can see that it's embering and glowing. And as you toss the torch in there, you can see that it turns dark first, and then starts to crack and ember and turn into essentially charcoal.
Well, the good news is
But
that you can't be dazzled by too much light.
Okay. Well, back to the tufts then. This is amazing. It's a field day for Madrash. I wonder if any of the others start waking up because of his
so
chanting and
you
posing. And...
you turn back from the campfire to look at the tufts. You notice that the one that you touched has suddenly there's suddenly just a kind of like a dip in the ground where it was, and just this strange blood splatter all over the place, like in a 1 foot radius of this little like dip.
It killed a rabbit. A rabbit with a lot of blood.
I'll look for another orange tuft
Mm-hmm.
and try to pull it out of the ground
Okay.
since it doesn't retreat.
All right. Make an athletics check. You tug on it. It seems to it it seems as if it's trying to pull back against your grip, and the fur slips out of your grasp.
Does it then retreat or stay?
No, it stays there. It is currently vibrating.
I'll try to cut it.
Okay.
I
So
have
you...
the silver dagger that I have.
Oh, even better. Okay. Okay. You you place your silver dagger against the tuft, and even before you feel any resistance or feel that you're cutting into it at all, you feel this sudden vibration against the blade, and then the tuft just kind of splits clean in half.
Okay. Vertically or horizontally?
uh, um, Vertically.
Hmm.
Inside, you see as if this entire tiny, tiny little um, half half sphere um, has been stuffed full of tiny little eyes, and one by one they start to pop.
I'll help it by stabbing it.
Stab, stab, stab. Um, yep, they pop like balloons, one by one, spurting out little showers of blood.
Showers of happy goo.
What the absolute fuck is going on?
I love it. I'm enjoying it very much.
I'll try to cut one of the non-orange.
The green ones?
Yep.
Okay. You place your blade against the green tuft, and it immediately withdraws into the ground.
Okay, that's something at least. Dagger goes away. I'll go get the decanter again
Mm-hmm.
and apply more water to an already orange one. Not full blast stream.
Okay, just a gentle stream.
Watering my tufts.
Oh boy. You apply some water onto one of these orange tufts. It shakes for a moment and turns white before you see the snow and ground around it kind of give way, and it rises up, and you see this tiny white, what seems to be a sheep, except that it has chicken legs, kind of just stand up, look, kind of look in your direction without actually having a face, and then starts walking off into the forest.
Follow it. Chase it. Try to ride it.
What?
It's a sheep with chicken legs.
Yep.
A tiny
know.
sheep with chicken legs.
Yep. It's about the size if you put like 2 fists together. It's like that size.
Can I have it as a pet?
Are you sure you didn't make these?
Even if it doesn't,
Good.
even even if it doesn't have a face, it kind of looks offended as it turns to look at you and then walks off.
Well, I mean, I would be offended as well.
He's going to go over to the wagon and sit down and consider everything he's learned so far and be just confused for a long while.
So this is how you create sheep.
But at least I think he's got some experience with madness considering the Kira.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was nuts, but this is crazy.
He'll stay there until it's the end of his guard now.
Sure.
Because he's going to get Holman on this.
Oh, you're not waking me up?
All
Oh,
right.
you need your beauty of sleep.
In that case, we might as well take our break here. And
What the fuck?
give you guys some
love
time
it.
to internalize what just happened and figure out your next moves.
Internalize, try externalize.
Figure out what there's.
I love the confusion.
Did we somehow like ride our cart in a Silic's brain?
Or just that there's a lot of pollution in the air.
Oh boy. So,
Boys and
Getting-
girls.
getting
All
back
ages.
into it,
Can we actually make it back into it?
home. Midrash
Yes.
eventually wakes you up.
Kicks you up.
You can
You-
tell he looks very puzzled, confused, but also interested.
I'm gonna attempt to roll out of my bedroll.
Mm-hmm.
Keyword being roll.
Mm-hmm.
Forgetting entirely that I moved up onto the cart.
Which side do you roll towards? To where I am or the opposite?
To the left.
To the left, to the left. To the right, to the right.
Everything you own in a box to the left.
So, you roll straight off the cart
Yep.
and smack onto the snowy ground, and you notice some strange tufts of orange and green fur sticking out of the ground not too far away. You
I'm just gonna.
notice that the campfire is shedding light into the nearby area, but you don't see a fire.
You were cut off there.
Midrash.
Mm-hmm.
New spell.
Oh, I wish. I have no idea what's going on here.
And did you break fire?
Maybe. I don't know if I broke it or something else around here broke it, but the fire's still there, by the way. This makes it a lot easier to see how much wood you need to put on. Oh, those tufts? Try pouring water on the green ones so they turn orange, and then pour some more water on them, and touch them with silver. I'm going to bed.
Okay.
I borrowed your decanter, by the way. Here it is. Area in one general direction is just sopping wet. There's a vague hint of soap in the air.
This area smells very clean. I'm
So-
gonna actually like get out of my bedroll now. So
Mhm.
I'm assuming it probably came down with me.
Mm-hmm. So you start
And
getting
I'll
up
pack it up.
while Midrash gets into his bedroll and tries to get some sleep after everything he's seen.
He probably just lies there awake the rest of the night.
You just hear an occasional "What the fuck?"
What did I do?
I broke reality.
Queen starts playing in the background.
Bicycle.
So, home, what would you like to do?
I'm
Pick
gonna
on
go
one.
over to one of the green tufts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna ignore the issue with the fire at the moment entirely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go over to one of the green tufts and poke it with an arrow. Like just straight stab it with an arrow.
Okay.
That's not poking it. That just
Well, not like
You see
aggressively, just like
you see the tuft withdraw into the ground as you poke it.
Fuck all of them. Get them all in the ground.
And then you hear a slight bit of bubbling from underneath the ground, exactly where the tuft went.
I'm just gonna look where the bubbling is coming from. Where the bubbling noise is coming from, and
Mhm.
step back slightly,
Mhm.
like a foot.
Yeah. Um, you see, from between some of these little pebbles on the ground where the tuft once was, uh, something coming up through the ground, and you see that it is a very, very tiny little eye, which is then followed up by another one and another one until there's just this sudden, like when a pimple pops, like this sudden just kind of burst of them out, and they all kind of scatter on the ground and turn to look directly at you as they start melting into the ground.
I'm melting. I'm melting. The moment that broke opposite.
I got a mental image of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Good.
that's the beauty of it.
Oh god.
It's a nice imagery. I love it. I think I read
Thank
a
you.
book like this when I was a kid. It
I'm
was a
just gonna
beautiful book.
turn and walk away from the melting eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going. I'm not. No.
I'm just going to ignore that now. Thank you.
Start pressure washing.
Not yet.
So what would you like to do?
I'm going to go to an orange one.
Mm-hmm.
Straight down.
Which one?
Piercing arrow.
Piercing arrow straight into the ground where the tuft is.
Yep. Just like.
Are you using your silvered arrows or your regular ones?
I'll start with the regular arrow,
Okay.
and then I'll move to the next orange one after I see what that does,
So
and then use
you
a silvered one.
okay. So you piercing arrow into the ground, straight through the orange tuft, and see your arrow kind of just disappear in the ground. And you hear this whining sound as the tuft deflates. It's like letting air out of a balloon. Just that kind of whining noise.
I want to grab the fur
Mm-hmm.
and try and lift it.
Okay. um, at this point, yeah, you managed to lift it. Part of the ground comes up with it, and you notice that it is a Jesus. It's kind of like a mushroom shaped,
A
kind of
what shape?
weird, mushroom shaped, kind of weird, just constant fur that comes out, and as you wrench the last bit out and the ground stuck inside kind of just falls off, there is this tiny pink little creature, I guess. Kind of looks like a chicken nugget in shape, with these four um, four very small chicken legs on it. It plops right onto the snow. It remains still for a good 3 seconds, and then suddenly it stands up. Its tiny little head swiveling to look at you before it starts walking off into the forest.
I stamp on it.
You hear a squelch.
I'll then wipe my boot in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to inspect the fur.
Sure.
Just to tell if it's actually fur or like some other weird shit.
The
Like
lo-
animal fur or
it
like the kind of furs that would be on like a caterpillar or something like that.
when you first touched it and like held it in your hand, it felt like very soft hair, hair pelt, like a rabbit pelt. The longer you hold it in your hand, the more it starts feeling like thick moss.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
I'm just gonna toss it on the fire to see what happens.
Sure.
Why is it always violence?
You toss it onto the fire and you can see it clearly since you can't actually see the flames, how it kind of like crumples up into this tiny little ball and burns.
Burn, baby, burn.
I'm gonna use geyser on one of the orange ones before I use the silver arrow.
Okay. Use geyser on one of the orange tufts, and you see it start turning white and start shaking. Do you want to use your piercing arrow now, or?
I'll wait.
Okay. It starts rising up out of the ground. You see this tiny, uh, tiny little sheep with chicken legs emerge from the ground.
I'm gonna try and grab the sheep
Okay.
by the chicken legs.
All right. Um, roll.
Athletics.
Yeah, roll an athletics check.
Wow.
So you grab its chicken leg and you hold on with a firm grip as this chicken leg just kind of oozes through your fingers and slips out of your reach and or slips out of your grip and reforms into a chicken leg as this tiny little faceless sheep looks at you and starts scrambling towards the forest. I feel like I'm breaking Chris.
I'm broken. I don't know what's happening anymore.
You're enjoying it.
It's insanity.
Yeah. There's logic to it.
He's there.
Yeah. Even insanity has logic.
Okay. I'm going to go to one of the pits where one of them was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find the most densely packed line of them from that pit. Take a silver arrow. Lay on the ground as best I can to fire said arrow from inside the pit, and piercing shot through all of them.
Are you looking for a line of just any, or
Just any.
okay? Okay.
I just want to see what happens.
Sometimes people just want to see the world burn.
All right.
And the mark down 2 years.
You launch your arrow in a straight line, straight through like 2 green ones and 3 orange ones, and one by one you hear this kind of like popping noise. And from either side of these tufts, these tiny eyes just kind of start popping out. And then the tufts first kind of just like melt into the ground. The green ones actually like withdraw. The orange ones just kind of melt in, and the eyes linger there for a couple of seconds before they start melting away.
After staring at me accusatory.
Yep. Well, that's just par for the course at this point.
I have no idea what these things are, but they sure as hell are fun to murder.
What's wrong with you guys with murdering things that are cute?
What would you like to try next? You don't even know yourself what you want to do next.
I'm going to pour oil onto a green one.
Okay.
If there are any green ones. If not, I'll...
There's still
Listen,
a couple of green ones here.
Okay, I'm going to pour oil on one.
Actually,
And
like
have
one
that's a
green.
weird
box.
fantasy, man. That's a weird fetish.
I'm
Yeah.
also going to have my tinderbox at hand.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Okay. You pour oil onto the green one. It seems to soak up the oil and turns black. There's now black tuft of fur.
Well, that's new. I'm gonna set it on fire now.
Okay.
And quickly retreat back. About 5 or 6 feet back from it.
Okay. Good. You spark the flame. You see how the sparks hit the black surface. You can see that the snow around it starts to melt. You see that it's giving out light as if it was on fire, but you don't see the flame. You see that the tuft of fur kind of splits open for a moment, forming this smiling mouth. And you hear, "Oh, hi, home. Oh, you set me on fire, huh? Well, that's new." And you hear that it is distinctly the voice of Silic.
More fire.
Madrash!
Do I wake up at this point?
Depends on how loud home is yelling for Midrash.
What?
I set one on fire.
Yeah?
It's got
Do I wake
Silic's
up?
voice. Like, it spoke.
Add more fire.
I'm out of fire.
Do I wake up yet?
Could you, like, barf on it?
You can wake up at this point, Asar, if you'd like to.
I wake up and ask, "Where are you? Why fire? What is going on?"
Midrash is still lying in his bedroll on his side, eyes open wide.
What's going on?
Go see what home is on about.
Sure. And I will quickly kind of get ready and then go out and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, in what position do I find you, Holm?
About 6 feet back from the one that's shedding light but has no flame around it.
What's wrong with the lighting?
Madrash broke fire?
How does one break fire?
Very easily.
I'm not a wizard. Why are you asking me?
Anyways, what's the problem?
That has Silic's voice.
Silic, is that you? And I will take out my rapier and kind of poke it.
You hear Silic's voice that goes, "Ow, ow, what's
Is that you?
the hell are you doing?"
Checking if you're alive.
"Well, I'm on fire."
Fire! Well, how does it feel?
Not too bad.
Good, enjoy it. And I will take, is there like a small log or big piece of wood next to me?
You
Actually,
can.
no, a rock. Is there a rock, small rock?
Yes, there's a small rock.
I will take the small piece of rock and say, "It's just to warm you up." And I will try and smash it on it.
Sure. Okay.
What does it say when I smash it into it?
You smash the rock into the black tuft, and immediately it bursts, and this oily residue just kind of clings to everything, uh, including you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
You can see me kind of trying to wipe it off as soon as it happens. Alright, dexterity saving throw, you say. Well, I might actually save. Or not.
I mean, it is Silex, so. Um,
Look at that second roll, though.
yeah, the
I
second
have
roll would have
advantage
been good.
for some reason.
The you get some of the splatter on you, not too badly though. You can feel the warmth of it very clearly being on fire, even if you don't see the fire.
You know, I'm already trying to kind of wipe
Mm-hmm.
it off, and if I feel it on fire, kind of, try and take
Yeah.
it off.
You don't take any damage as you just kind of like quickly start wiping it off and uh, kind of like wafting your shirt, trying to get it out.
Select, are you still alive? Select? I think it's dead.
I think you killed him.
I didn't kill him.
Hang on, I think we can get him back.
I'm sorry?
I'll find the next closest one,
Wait,
regardless
before
of
you
the
do it.
color.
Wait, before you do it. I have a better idea. I can make it alive without it speaking. It can be our obedient servant.
I'm pretty sure they're alive anyway. Kind of, maybe.
I'll poke it with my rapier.
Which one?
The closest one that he was about to try and do something on it.
I think at this point there's only orange ones left.
Poke that.
Okay. Your rapier isn't silvered, right?
Nope.
Okay. Good. You
I just poke it. Not. I don't try to hurt it. I just try to kind of, check if it's actually going to react or anything.
you can see it start vibrating.
Well, looks nice. Do you have a woman around? I have an invention, and if you get a woman, might be enjoyable. Is it supposed to do that though? I think we should call it a vibrating plant. Vibro plant. One should be in each house. Nah, I'm fine. I'm enjoying this.
What else do you do than just poke it?
For now, I just poke it and say that and see what Holm reacts.
Home, what are you doing?
You heard me do that speech with vibro plants in every house.
I just look at you incredulous, like they run away if you try to harvest them.
Do they? Wait, do you have a sack? Don't touch it though.
I don't have a spare sack.
Do you have any container that I could use?
No.
Are you sure?
Are there any more?
Wait, don't touch it.
I'm not gonna touch that one.
Any more?
No, we said that's the last one.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the last one.
One moment, I'm trying to think of it. One second. Uh, all right. So I have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any empty containers in the wagon?
I doubt it.
Not that I
All right.
know of.
Then I will need to sacrifice something I don't like, but you know. Actually, wait. I have a robin. Oh no, that's not good. Pitchfork? I have a pitchfork. Huh.
That's not a container.
No, but it can help me carry it. Now, all I need is a container. How big is it?
It's about the size of your fist, roughly.
All right, size of my fist. So, hmm. Okay, it will have to be done. I take my bucket drum
Mm-hmm.
and carefully remove the leather from the top,
Okay.
and then I will kind of look at the tuft for a moment before taking out my pitchfork and picking it up and putting it into the bucket.
Okay. How deep into the ground do you know, stab your pitchfork?
How deep does it seem to be put in? I mean, as far as I can see.
I mean, it's very hard to tell. The part on the surface is roughly the size of your fist.
So I will do like half of its size on underneath as well.
Okay.
Kind of not very deep, kind of slightly.
Yeah. All right. You wrench it out of the ground
Into the bucket.
and place it in.
Does it still is it still alive? I mean, still vibrating?
No, it is not.
Poke it with the sword again. Vibrate! Come on!
It is no longer vibrating.
What did you do?
I did nothing.
Why is it not vibrating?
You broke it?
I pour it out of the bucket onto the floor and then just poke it again. Wake up! Wake up!
You see the top of it kind of like split into these four distinct sections, which kind of like roll and peel back.
I will try to stick my rapier just in the middle, kind of poke it in right in the middle as it peels off.
You poke into the middle, and you feel this squish against your blade, and you pull it
It's a
back.
rapier, by the way.
Yeah. And you see this tiny, kind of like chicken nugget sized pink thing stuck to the end of your rapier with these tiny little chicken legs on it.
I'll kind of flick it off.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It lands on the
Wake up!
ground.
Yep. Does it move?
No.
Alright. What about the big thing? I mean, I just stabbed one of it, so I don't know what about the rest.
It starts to kind of shrivel onto the ground.
Well, that's kind of a bad gift to give someone. Alright, I have an idea. Do you have... Oh, maybe I have. One moment.
Do I have...
Ice!
Tiny pink
No.
chicken nugget thing suddenly stands up, looks at you all accusatively with its faceless, tiny little head, and starts heading towards the forest.
I will do a minor illusion just in front of it, of another one of his.
Mm-hmm. It goes straight through.
I chase it with the bucket.
Okay.
Actually, I mean, wait a moment, that's my bucket.
I'll give you it back!
While he's running away with after the thing, I'm going to try and cast Dancing Light to see if it's actually going to shine or just going to be a black like the fires. And I will place all 4 around Midrash.
Can you cast a spell?
Yep.
Okay. They light up and they are as visible as ever.
Wow.
Roll a 1d 10,000.
Woohoo! Now I know exactly what it is. $4,086.
Okay. Let's see here.
1 is a bad thing, I know.
Okay. What are you carrying at this very moment? What is on you?
All my things?
Do you have even your backpack on your back?
I would guess so. I mean, SR has been carrying everything on him until now, so I don't have a reason to say no.
Okay.
Better question: are you riding the dog still?
No. I mean, I wouldn't ride it when I'm walking around and doing stuff.
So, everything you're carrying, including everything except your trousers, suddenly just kind of disappears. And you feel your left trouser pocket just kind of bulging as if it's been stuffed full of just.
I'm going to check what's inside my pocket.
Mm-hmm. You.
I mean, I pull it out, basically. That's how I check it.
You put your hand down into your pocket and feel what feels to be the hilt of your rapier, and you pull it and keep pulling it, and your entire rapier comes out of your pocket.
I tried to put it back in. Slowly, though, because I don't want to actually stab myself, so I just slowly try to see if it actually goes back in.
It seems to hit the bottom of your pocket.
So I'll pull it out and kind of start arranging everything out back into, like, I'm guessing everything will come out slowly, one by one.
I guess
That's
we're
my
holding it
guess.
in a pocket dimension. I'm impressed.
Hey. A bunny, another bunny, another bunny, another bunny, another bunny. So many bunnies.
So do you keep pulling stuff out of your pocket? It still seems to be full.
Yeah, I'm going to pull out all of my stuff there.
Yep.
Slowly, one by one.
Yep, all of your stuff comes out. You do note that everything that was in your backpack.
One thing though, I will say every time that I pull something out, I will say the word for the charge. Remembering that I have thing that can go.
Mm-hmm.
1 second, sorry.
Yep.
1 second.
Home. In the meanwhile, you catch this tiny running nugget into the bucket.
Does it stay in the bucket when I catch it?
I need to go 1 second to take my cat. So 1 moment. Sorry.
I will head back with the thing in the bucket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it remains in the bucket. It just looks up at you in an accusing manner.
I carry the bucket in a way that I can keep an eye on it and walk without walking into anything or tripping over.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of just rushed headlong after it, not looking where I was going. And I'll try to retrace my steps back to the camp.
Yeah, I mean, it's moving fairly slowly, so you caught it in no time and brought it back in no time. After you reach the camp, it starts melting inside the bucket.
That's cheating.
As it forms this little puddle of goop at the bottom.
What color's the goop?
Pink. There's just a single chicken leg still remaining, and that melts as well. So, I suppose for the rest of
I'm
your
back.
rest, you all kind of wonder about what the hell just happened.
Wait, what about me? Did I finish?
Yeah, one by one you get all of your belongings back from your pocket. Everything that was inside your backpack was separate, and you had to load your backpack up again.
This time, better organized.
Of course.
I'm just going to walk back up to SR, hand him the bucket and go, I caught it, but it melted.
Well, you cleaned that bucket now.
Well, I thought you could taste it and see if it's actually edible.
Open your mouth.
Oh dear.
You said you were bringing it back as is, not gross.
I don't know it was going to melt.
At my place it didn't melt. You made it melt. You fix it.
Okay, I'll fix it. I'll place the bucket on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Geyser.
Fantastic. You you pressure wash the inside of the bucket, clean out the goop inside, and you return the bucket
Is it clean?
in cleaner shape than it was when you loaned it.
It wasn't that clean. But okay.
Do you return after that to your watch home and off back to bed?
Yeah.
I just go sit against one of the wheels of the wagon.
I put again my sphere around me as I'm on
Yep.
the cart.
All right. The rest of
And for some reason, the rest of the night, SR will look very happy.
Mm-hmm. For the rest of the night, for as long as you have watches, nothing else strange and new happens since you're not actively poking around. And you continue in the morning, I suppose, on your way
Nope.
to Keldal.
Nope. Before we continue,
Mm?
Trash,
Yep.
I don't think this is a good direction to go by. Last time I cast a spell here, it went wonky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I
think we
know.
should approach that thing. If
Well,
magic is already here wonky, it will be even wonkier there.
But we still gotta see what happened to the town if it's
I don't have any
made
feeling
of
that I need to
marshmallow.
do. Yeah, you probably will die once you get there.
Mm.
I mean, don't you kind of... If now it's bad, just the mere presence of you with magic items will just go...
I'm
It'll be
listening
amazing.
to this. I'm listening to this, and I'm just gonna, well, my imbuing my arrows with magic doesn't seem to do anything wonky.
Yet! Until now it was active magic, but, you know, it could be also passive magic the more you approach.
I still gotta find out what happened to Keldel.
It's burning. There you go.
No, it's not. That's the mountain is burning.
It's close
Keldel's
enough.
at the bottom of the mountain.
Well, I would guess that they became those sticks that yelled.
No, that was Silic.
Silic is dead.
Then why did the little burning tuft yell in Silic's voice?
It didn't.
Maybe you are going insane with guilt.
I didn't kill Silic. I did
That's
not
that's
kill
the
Silic.
insanity. That's the insanity part of it. You didn't. That's why you're going insane.
But guilt. Now let's turn back.
I don't know.
I'm going insane with guilt for not having killed Silic.
Yeah, that's the
Apparently so.
insanity.
Anyway,
Now let's turn back.
Let's continue.
I don't want to go. Boom. Not
Oh,
this
there's
way.
the road.
Are you still in the cart?
Nope. I'm not yet on the cart. I mean,
Okay.
we're loading up, and then when we're loading up, I'm saying it, so...
I can't be useful in a place without any ability to use my magic. I
You've
don't
got a
want
sword.
to...
Try it again.
Sorry?
Try it again.
No. I don't want to die. Last time I did magic, all my stuff got into my pocket. Pretty sure that's a clue to leave this stuff alone.
Hmm. My magic was only effective when I was directly aiming at the...
You know what? You do
Hey.
some magic now. I will walk 30 feet away. You tell me if anything happens.
And I will walk 30
Well,
feet
there
away.
is some magic I have to do regardless, so let's see.
Well, go ahead. Let's see how
I'll
bad
do
you
the
go.
daily cast of the animate
Mm-hmm.
to regain control.
So that's
I'm
just one
30
cast,
feet
right?
away.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3rd level.
All right. Nothing untoward happens during or after your casting.
Looks all right.
I'm looking around. I'm
Holy
looking at the
floats
sky.
by.
You see
I'm
a
looking if the sun is actually there. Or is it just a
Wait.
black goop?
nope, it's definitely the sun.
Here,
You-
I'll
you-
do this. I'll point at a nearby tree and cast Scorching Ray at it.
Okay.
I guess I have to roll it to see if I crit fail. See?
You did crit fail, don't worry about it.
Yep.
I did
Um,
crit fail. Third beam hits a crit fail of 8.
Oh boy. You blast off with your scorching rays. The two first crash into the tree, and you see this hole just melting into the side of the tree. The third one heads in that direction at first, and then starts kind of careening from side to side, and then does a loop-de-loop in the air, goes straight through the hole and basically ties like a knot around the tree before slamming into the ground.
See? Perfect.
I don't think that was you.
Hey, I'm in control of this spell.
I will roll insight. I mean, I don't have good insight, by the way, just so you know. Oh, wow.
Wow, you thoroughly believe him.
Well, nothing untoward happening here.
Well, seemed a bit amazing, but
Yeah, I've cast 2 spells now and nothing weird has happened. So, you confirm by casting something yourself. You're a gnome,
yeah,
you shouldn't be
I'm good.
happy about blowing up.
With experiments, not with my spells.
Yes, you're experimenting, but you're confirming the experiment already done.
Nah, that's not really something gnomes like to do, confirming things.
Well, then make your own experiment.
All right, stand there. I will try to hit your head. Not with something offensive, don't worry.
I will do a minor illusion of a rabbit on its head.
Okay.
Anything? Do I need to roll
A
anything?
rabbit or an illusion of a rabbit appears. You also hear this strange flump noise from the woods to the the west. This
Did you
flump,
hear that?
flump.
There's
And
that creature again.
What's with that creature? It's following us.
you see it between the trees, waving one of its like tendrils towards you as it pops out of existence.
What did we do last time with that thing?
He ran away, bravely.
Could that be the cause of it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It does flump. That's what we know about it.
We'll find out in Keldar. If we find Keldar.
I don't think Keldal exists anymore.
Well, we gotta confirm that.
I still don't think it exists.
It might not.
I will. Well, since I don't actually have a proof that it's actually going completely wonky, I will climb back on the cart. Though, the entire journey, I will be looking around for any signs of magic.
Sure.
Not with any detect magic, just looking around if there's anything that, signs of magic or sigils or anything that might be hinting at.
Yep. Sure.
So not the usual starfish.
During the next half a day, you journey through the woodlands, seeing these weird ass trees constantly on either side of the path as you head higher and higher towards the mountains till you finally reach the tiny little torp of Keldal. And this is a good place to end for tonight. There is so much more insanity to be had. Liam will be
I believe you.
pleased that he will probably experience the worst of the insanity to ensue.
I mean,
And also
I enjoyed it very much.
he will also be very disappointed that he didn't get to see the
But
weirdness.
I'm just Okay, so I'm just going to say the reason that I was about to turn back is actually nothing to do with me as a player, but just well, I had to in my character.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Made no sense if not.
Now I gotta toss out some XP out of my head for that encounter.
Yes. Do you want an exact number I need? Because that's not a
I
number
could,
you will give anyways, because it's too much for that.
I could do with about 4,000.
Well, 4,000 will do it, but I can go with a bit less, with 3,610.
You might as well just add that extra 400 in. Round it up.
What about you, Kesh?
A lot
What's the
more.
magic number?
It's a lot more. It's math
Mm.
that I can't do in the head.
What level are you going to be?
You
9.
get an
9?
amazing
Oh, wow.
272 XP.
That is too much, man. Too
I know.
much. I can't deal with it.
Well, no
Can't.
multi-kill multiplier?
Monster
Yeah,
kill.
I mean, he did kill a lot of them. Come on.
Did you?
Were they even alive?
Well, I mean, they
You're just
exuded some.
perceiving a realm where the shadows are knives.
And yeah, I think that's the I added the timekeeping, so I'll just update the downtime and we can be off for tonight.
I get it that you don't want us to break the city yet.
Not just yet. It's gonna happen. I'm sure of that.
If it's not already broken.
Yeah.
I mean, I have half the suspicion that we will kill ourselves, but
Isn't that the eventuality with all adventuring parties though?
yeah. And we aren't even paid to go there. Come on, man.
The price for your efforts is gonna be that good tingling feeling inside you of having done some good.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to do any good?
I don't know,
Of
but
I
you
mean,
can
course
think.
we are.
It's it's
I don't
this
know, but
group. Come on.
I don't know if you're gonna actually do any good, but you can feel like you did some good.
I'm
That's
not sure we can if we never actually did it. I mean, how would we know how it feels like?
yeah,
Is
you
it,
do need previous experience.
Exactly. I mean, basically, we would feel a weird feeling that we don't actually know what it is. Wait, I can feel something.
Oh
Maybe I
boy.
ate something bad.
Yeah. Say goodbye to the stream.
Goodbye to the
Goodbye
stream,
to the
man.
stream.
Oh, by the way, don't forget sticks.
The sticks just scream. Oh boy. What a session. The insanity continues next week on Tuesday. He's just shouting sticks now. Yeah. Dobbs the gamer, thanks for the follow during the stream, and hope to see you next time as well.